What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. Hope you all had a great weekend. Hope you had a great Labor Day today. Wow. Getting into this episode, we're back. Grand Hotel, Season 1, Episode 12, Dear Santiago. This episode... this episode was too much. Listen, it was a lot going on in this episode. A lot. So many secrets came to the forefront. So many secrets. My goodness. Like, I'm still flustered by this episode. Like, listen, the past 11 episodes, fuck everything you think you know. Because this episode literally just opened Hell's Gate. This episode right here, all hell just broke loose. I mean, literally. Let me tell you something. This whole episode, the devil was raising hell. This entire episode. And I mean that. It was just fire everywhere. A lot going on. So many secrets just popping up to the surface that you couldn't even imagine, that you couldn't fathom. Let me tell you something. I was watching this episode. After this episode went off, I felt like I needed to drink. Like, I mean, some hard liquor. After watching this episode, I haven't felt this way about a TV show in God knows how long. So many secrets, some shit I just did not see coming. I was like, what? She slept with what? I was like, you just shocked the whole damn episode. I said, you got to be kidding me. Listen, if y'all have not, for those who just now watching this video, like my reviews on this, if you have not been watching Grand Hotel Season 1, you need to binge watch this show. It's that damn good. I'm going to tell you that right now. You will fall in love. There's just no way. This is what I call quality television. This is good soap drama at its best. You know what I'm saying? Just at its finest. That's how dope this episode was. Like, it's just too much to absorb in this episode. Like, I'm still digesting all this information that we just learned in this episode. So many damn secrets. And they're explosive. I mean, boom. Like, we're talking category 5 here. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you talk about a hurricane? Everybody worried about Hurricane Dorian? Hurricane Dorian was in this episode tonight. I'm going to tell you that right now. That's how fire it was. That's how crazy, catastrophic even. It was freaking amazing. I don't even know where to begin with this damn episode. Like, I really just don't. Mrs. P and Jason, let's just start there. Mrs. P and Jason were, very worried about her husband, Malcolm, because his work performance has been very poor lately, and he seems very forgetful. Like, when he was talking to Javi and stuff, he called Javi Jason. Like, he's been very forgetful. His work has been suffering. So, of course, Mrs. P wanted Jason to babysit Malcolm, help him out with the job and stuff like that. Because she wants him to take a leave of absence. And, Ingrid was complaining about a leaky toilet, I think on the 9th floor or whatever, that he was been supposed to fix that he didn't fix. The elevator needed to be fixed that he didn't fix, and they damn near got stuck on the elevator. Mrs. P just had no choice but to put him on administrative leave. Like, she was like, I'm going to have to put you on it. Because he kept refusing to go on administrative leave voluntarily. So she basically had to pull rank on him. It was like, well, you're forcing my hand now. Because your work is just suffering. She think it's because of the chemo and stuff like that. Come to find out, he stopped taking the chemo 2 weeks ago. And he never told Mrs. P or Jason. He just stopped taking the medication. He stopped taking the treatment 2 weeks ago. Come to find out, his cancer is spread to his brain. That's why he's so forgetful and his work performance is slowed down. It's just spread. I felt horrible for Mrs. P, for Malcolm, for Jason. I felt horrible for them. Because once it spreads that far, and I have to agree with Jason, once that cancer spread to your brain, there's nothing you can do. It's basically terminal at that point. There's nothing they can do about it. Even the best of the best doctors can't help you. There's just nothing they can do because it's spreading now. And once it spreads to those areas of the body, it's nothing. It's out their hands now. Now you just have to, come to terms with it, so to speak. That's just how it is. And I felt so bad for Mrs. P when she was in that office. Because the thing about Mrs. P was, for the first time, ever since this cancer started, you've seen her vulnerable. Because in the beginning of the season, if you look at how she was in the beginning of the season compared to now, she was a hard-ass boss, took no nonsense, stone face, barely cracked a smile. But you've been seeing her let that guard down, especially with her relationship with Ingrid and stuff like that. That guard has been going down. And you're seeing her more vulnerable now. But also, and I want to point this out, Mrs. P always had answers for everything. When it came to her job, when it came to giving out advice to Santiago or to Alicia, to Ingrid, to Jason, whenever she gives out advice, she pretty much always had the answer. But for the first time, you're seeing her really with no answer. She has no real answers to, fix this situation for her husband. You know what I'm saying? Because she's the type of person, she usually has control. She usually has the answers. But on this, she just doesn't have control. She doesn't have control over this. She doesn't have the answers. She was literally standing there asking Jason, what do we do now? You know what I'm saying? Usually Mrs. P the one with the answers. Now she just doesn't have any. And, Jason was letting her know at this point, the reason that Malcolm continues to come to work, even though his health is badly deteriorating, is to spend more time with them. You know what I'm saying? Because he knows that he's running out of time. So, Jason came up with an idea. He was like, basically Mrs. P and Malcolm are going to take a leave of absence together. And they're going to finally go to Paris, a place where they always wanted to go. And now they're finally going to go to Paris, France. But it was so heartbreaking because when they were telling him about it and he was getting excited about it, he started slurring his words. And you could see that the, right side of his face was starting to go limp. Like, his facial expressions. He was having a stroke. I felt super bad for him. I felt bad for their family, like right in front of their eyes. She had to witness her husband, Jason had to witness his father having a stroke on top of the news that they just got about his cancer. I couldn't deal with that. I felt like my heart was breaking for them. I could not deal with that. I was like, yeah, I can't. That was heartbreaking. I felt super bad for them. Like, I don't know what they're going to do, but I felt bad. I did like the scene with Ingrid and Jason, though, her comforting him and stuff, him laying all up in the bed, her tucking him into the covers. That was a nice scene. I knew that whole Vanessa relationship that he was in, I knew that wasn't going to work out, the long distance thing, because obviously he lives in Florida, she lives in Texas. That long distance stuff ain't going to work. You know what I'm saying? Especially with his job and what he going through with his father and stuff right now. He's not going to have all that much time to go down there, you know what I'm saying, and visit her, and they keep missing each other phone calls and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I already knew that wasn't going to work. So I got a feeling that him and Ingrid at some point probably going to, he going to break things off with Vanessa and probably get with Ingrid. I wouldn't be shocked about it. I mean, I'm starting to, soften towards Ingrid. I still don't trust her like that because, she's a schemer. So I can't really trust her too much. But, they do got chemistry. I will say that. So, anyway, Santiago, he traded in one Teresa for another. I'm just saying. Now that Teresa gone, he was happy. He was ready to do the happy dance. He thought that he was in the clear. But, of course, Mateo is another Teresa just in male form. Because Santiago let him know. He was like, okay, Teresa's gone. She's apparently not coming back. Because they thought that she was just on a run and Mateo helped her get away. But Mateo pretty much confirmed to Santiago that Teresa's not coming back because she dead. And Santiago did have a valid point, though. Because he was like, first of all, he knew Mateo didn't kill Teresa for him or his family. He knew that. He was like, you killed her for you. Which I do agree. Because with Teresa out the way, Mateo can finally be free of her. He can finally be out from under her shadow, out from under her thumb. And like he said, her criminal organization, now that she's dead, is in disarray at this point. So who's to say that Mateo won't try to step up and take over as the new head of her organization? Who's to say? But he definitely has no plans of leaving the Riviera Grand. He has no intention of leaving the hotel after Santiago done basically told him you're fired. He didn't care. He sat right there at that hotel at that desk. And now he's blackmailing Santiago now. Because he has the flash drive of the security footage from the night that Sky went missing. So now he's telling Santiago, if you don't want this to go public, I want 50% of the hotel. We gonna be 50-50 business partners. I said, well, damn. Santiago, you in a hell of a jam now. How you gonna get yourself out? Every time you turn around, Santiago got a new problem. And these are problems that he created. Like, these are all problems that Santiago has created for his damn self and for his family. Like, you just keep putting your family in these situations because you're not thinking, you're being dumb. You know what I mean? So now how he gonna wiggle his way out of this one, who knows? But come to find out, he looked at that flash drive. He looked what was on that security footage. And lo and behold, he saw Gigi coming in to the parking lot with blood on her clothes. Coming in from the storm with blood all on her clothes. I don't think Gigi had anything to do with what happened to Sky, though. I think she might have found Sky. You know what I'm saying? She probably was the one who found Sky and got Sky's blood on her. Because if you notice that whoever knocked Sky out with that baseball bat, they had on all black. Gigi was wearing all white. So I don't believe she's the one who did that. I don't think she did. She probably stumbled upon Sky's body. But the way it looked on camera, it looked like she did something to her. So that's enough evidence to get her arrested right there. So who knows what Santiago gonna do, like how he gonna respond or what he gonna do with that footage. Who knows? But Mateo was smart as hell, though. I will say that. You listen, Mateo is that character you love to hate. You know what I'm saying? But he's a crafty person. You know what I mean? Like, he thinks on his feet, always has an ace up the sleeve. I love a villain like that. I really do. I love a good villain that don't go down easy. You know what I'm saying? Even though when you think Mateo ain't got no more cards left to play, he always comes out with one, at least one. Mateo ain't stupid worth a damn. That's one thing I can say about him. He far from stupid. He knew to keep a little piece of evidence for himself, just in case he needed it, and boom. The opportunity presented itself and he needed it, a little insurance. So anyway, moving on from that. Karolina. Karolina, a hot mess. So she was just mesmerized by that big ass diamond ring Byron put on her finger. Because now they sitting there talking about they get married again. Well, they're going to go ahead and do the wedding that they should have done. Yoli and Gigi was not here for it. Yoli and Gigi was like, hell no, we're against it. And Gigi knew that she was only marrying him for money. She knew that. She wasn't stupid. But Karolina tried to flip it on Gigi. She was like, okay, you're accusing me of marrying somebody for money, but that's what she accused Gigi of doing with Santiago. Because she was like, think about it. Their father ran off with all that money, and 5 minutes later, she got with Santiago and married him. I mean, that is a little suspicious. I mean, I know that they probably been, had a little thing going for a little minute or whatever, but I'm like, still, come on now. Your husband leave you, you get a quickie divorce or whatever, and then you go ahead and marry Santiago. I would have been a little skeptical about that my damn self. So Byron came to Karolina. They was having lunch or whatever, and he told her how she was telling him how Gigi and Yoli weren't happy about the whole them getting married and stuff like that, getting re-engaged. And he basically told her that his family wasn't happy about it either. And that they cut him off from the money. See, once he said that he was broke, and he was like, oh, I could basically pay for this lunch. Once he said all that, Karolina was not feeling Byron no more. Hell, she wasn't feeling him to begin with. She was really only marrying him for money, but she tried to sit there and lie, talking about, no, I'm marrying for love. That's a damn lie, and she said that with a straight face, too. I said, now, we know you're lying, because you was just mesmerized by that big old diamond he put on your finger. That's all she cared about. But once he mentioned broke, that his family cut him off, she was not here for this wedding no more. She was like, nope, I'm out. I don't want to get married. She tried to tell Gigi, oh, I'm not going to marry somebody if that means that it's going to mess up our relationship. She basically tried to pull that little reverse psychology and stuff. Try to make them think that, oh, she not going to do it because she don't want to mess up her relationship with Gigi and Yoli. Gigi and Yoli was not here for it. They was like, nope, we changed our mind. You can marry him. That's your life. Go ahead and marry him if you want to. We ain't gonna stand in your way. She was pissed because she was hoping that they would, object to it and forbid her to do it. I'm like, first of all, you're grown. They can't forbid you from doing nothing. Like, I'm just saying. Like, she really thought that was gonna work. But lo and behold, it was all a test. It was all a test because Gigi went to Byron and basically told him that she was only marrying, that Karolina was marrying him for money. So he was testing her the whole time. He was never broke. His family never cut him off. He just wanted to see if she would marry him anyway. And of course, she failed the test miserably. But in a way, judging by her conversation with Yoli and Gigi, I can't totally blame her for wanting to marry somebody for financial security. I can't totally blame her. I can, but I can't. I mean, she need to go out here and be independent and do her own thing, but at the same time, I can understand. Because if you look at the situation, and she basically brought up a good point, though. Because if you look at it, she was like, if something were to happen to their mom, Santiago wouldn't take care of them. Because they're not his children. They're his stepchildren, but he doesn't view Yoli and Karolina the same way he view Javi and Alicia. Obviously, because that's his actual children. And they already know that if something were to happen to Gigi, they would probably be cut off, more than likely. And if something were to happen to Santiago, they already know in his will, everything would go to Alicia and Javi. Because that hotel is their birthright. Their mother was the original owner. So that hotel would automatically go to them. You know what I mean? That's what they were worried about. Because they was like, outside of Santiago, Gigi, Yoli, and Karolina, they don't have nothing. They have no assets. They have no money. They have nothing without Santiago. They're completely financially dependent on Santiago. If something were to happen to their mom or something were to happen to him, they would be bounced out on their ass. And they know it. So that got Gigi to thinking because she knew it was a good point. Even Yoli said it. So Gigi, of course, went to Santiago and was like, it's time for our families to finally be one family. And Santiago was like, we are one family. She was like, no. The way he talks about his kids, he was like, oh, I'm glad we told the kids. But mind you, he didn't tell Yoli and Karolina because he doesn't consider them to be his children. So, of course, Gigi was like, well, you need to update your will. She want him to put, add her and her kids to the will. Now, the question is, will Santiago do that? That's the $1 billion question. Will he update that will? I don't think he will. Let me know what y'all think. I don't think he will. Honestly, I have to be very blunt. I don't think he will. That's asking for too damn much, in my opinion. I don't think he will. So, anyway, Danny running around still trying to investigate what happened with Sky. The detective that he was working with, she got pulled from the department, so she's no longer a part of that department or whatever. So, she didn't want, just because she got screwed over, she didn't want Danny to be screwed over. So she left Danny a file on everything, all the evidence that they gathered before they got pulled from Sky's investigation. So him and Jason did a little detective work, snuck into Mrs. P office and started looking up the key cards, like all the activity from the key card, because they claimed that due to the storm that night, they had a power outage. But if that were true, then that means you couldn't look up, nobody's key card would have worked. Electronically, you couldn't see their activity that night if the power actually went out. So they got proof that the power didn't go out that night. Somebody did it on purpose. So they noticed that she went to the roof a lot. Sky went to the roof a lot, and they also noticed that she went to the 6th floor stairwell a lot. So when they went to the roof and looked all up in the vent, because he told a story about how when they was in group homes and stuff like that, that people would take stuff from them and steal, so they would hide a lot of their possessions in the vents, which is smart in my opinion, because you can't trust people at no group home and all that. So he looked at the vent and stuff, and all he found was a lighter and a cigarette box. So he was pissed because he was like, this can't be it. So, Alicia, she agreed to help him because now she wants to know what this is all about. Like why Sky was interested in her mother's death and stuff like that. Because we all know Beatrice ain't died from no heart attack. She was in good health. She was young. Ain't no way. And Alicia and Javi wouldn't let it go because they went down to the basement and stuff and started looking all through the stuff that their father had put down there that would belong to their mom. And they were looking through and everything, finding old mementos and stuff from when they were younger. And Javi found a baseball that had his autograph on it because his mother wanted his autograph because she was sure that he was going to go pro. And Alicia remembered that her mother had got her an expensive car. It was like $100,000 car. And she only had her learner's permit. She didn't, it would have been a year before she would have got her driver's license. And Santiago was pissed that she bought their daughter a $100,000 car before she was even able and ready to drive. So he made her take that car back. So they found her paperwork and stuff, and they found her death certificate, and they noticed that the hotel doctor was the one who signed off on her cardiac arrest, that signed off on her death. And they also noticed her legal documents that gave power of attorney to Santiago, gave him literally everything, control over everything, the business, custody of the kids, their bank accounts, gave him access to everything. Total control. So they started wondering, like, damn, could our dad have, because it was all 2 months before she died. So they got suspicious. They could he have had her killed for the money and all that? But they didn't want to believe it. I don't blame them. Who wants to believe that their dad would purposely have their mom killed? Of course you're not going to believe that. So they went to the room and they lured the doctor in there under the pretense that Alicia was sick to ask her questions about how their mother really died. So the doctor admitted that she didn't really die of cardiac arrest. That Santiago begged her, basically wanted her to say that, even though it wasn't true. So they told, she told Javi and Alicia, basically, don't ask me questions, take it to the source. Go to your dad and ask him. So, of course, they went to their father, asked him questions about their mother's death, and Gigi and Santiago decided to be honest about it. Because in the beginning of the episode, we see a flashback of Santiago coming to the hotel with a bunch of roses and stuff for Beatrice. And when he got there, he was playing this whole romantic night and stuff, but Gigi was there because she was having issues with Felix. And, he went out there to tell Gigi that she could stay the night or whatever, that her and the kids could, get their suite, have a suite in the hotel and stuff like that. And when Beatrice noticed that they were hugging and stuff, she got it in her mind that, they must be doing something, because it was the way that they were hugging that kind of tipped her off that maybe something was going on. So they told the kids the story about what really was going on. Like how their mother, basically she had bipolar disorder. You know what I mean? That's why her moves was all over the place and she was spending money like crazy. That's why she bought that $100,000 car. It was all a part of the mood swing. It was all a part of the bipolar disorder. I knew it had to be something. At first I was thinking drugs, but I'm like, no, I don't think it's drugs. But it was definitely bipolar. That's why they kept her in that room and they had the doctor in there to treat her and stuff like that. And they would just tell the kids that she was in a business trip. Now, they're sitting there telling this whole emotional story. By the way, the actors and actresses did an amazing job with that scene. Like, the emotion in that was insane. But I didn't know what was true and what was not true. Because, you can't trust Santiago and Gigi to tell the whole truth. You can't. I wanted to believe that story was the truth, but I'm like, I don't know. It kind of coincided with what Alicia and them was talking about. Because they were having these, memories and stuff about the car and all that. So the bipolar disorder explains the car and stuff. Her spending crazy. And remember in the beginning of the season where we got that flashback of her and Gigi together, and Beatrice was telling Gigi that Santiago was going to kill her if he ever found out. So apparently what she was talking about was she's the one who gave Felix the money. Because remember, Santiago was like, Felix swindled them out of money and stuff. Beatrice was the one that gave Felix the money because she was off her meds. And she gave him all the money that they were going to use to renovate the hotel. She gave all that money to him. So basically what ended up happening was Beatrice ended up taking a whole bunch of pills. She committed suicide. She found out that, during their therapy sessions that Santiago admitted that he had an affair. Well, he had a one-time affair. It was like a one-night thing. It didn't mean nothing to him. Blah, blah, blah. So she took the pills, but before she took the pills, she wrote this note. Javi asked Gigi, did their mom leave them a note, like a suicide note? Gigi said no. But going back to the flashback, she had called Santiago and told him, oh, you need to come down to the room. Something happened with Beatrice. And after she hung up, she noticed the note. And as soon as Santiago came in, she, put the note in her pocket. She never even told Santiago about the note. We all wanted to know. I wanted to know what the hell was in that note. Lo and behold, we didn't have to wait until the finale to find out what was in that note. So Beatrice was talking with Mrs. P because she suspected something was going on with Gigi and Santiago. Mrs. P was trying to tell her, calm down, you're paranoid. And she was like, so what? It was 15 years ago. And Beatrice looked at her like, 15 years? She said, I didn't tell you it was 15 years ago. That's when she put two and two together and figured out Mrs. P was the one who slept with Santiago. I was like, damn. And Mrs. P, she was like, oh, it was one time, 15 years ago. They were working late and stuff like that, and it just happened. And that's when Beatrice also put something else together. But before that, she asked her, she was like, how old is Jason? Because when Alicia wanted to help Danny figure out what happened to his sister, that's when they went to room 606. Because he had a key that fit that room, that lock. And that's when he had the hunch to go check the vent in that room. Because remember, Gigi was in that room looking for that letter. That's what Gigi was looking for. That note. Sky had the note. So that's what she was looking for. Because she knew Sky had that note. That's why Sky, I think that's the info that Sky was trying to, blackmail them with, or that's what she knew about. So Danny ended up finding the note, and he started reading it. And that's when, we get those flashback scenes of Beatrice writing the note, and it was to Santiago. Hence the title of the episode, Dear Santiago. So, in the letter, she admitted that she knew about him and Mrs. P, and she admitted that Jason was really Santiago's son and not Malcolm's son. I said, damn. So Jason is Alicia and Javi's half-brother. I was like, oh shit. Shit just got real on this episode. Now I wonder what Danny gonna do with that note. Because Alicia looked at him and asked him, she was like, what does it say? Danny, do not sit your ass there. She done forgave you for the most part. Kinda. She's trying to help you. She's trying to, you're back in her good graces right now. Show her that note. Don't sit there and keep that from her. Do not sit there and keep that note from her. Do not. Do not. You already lied to her and you claimed that you should have told her the truth from the beginning and you regretted lying to her. So don't start that lying now. She got a right to know what's in that note. I was like, damn. So Jason is a Mendoza? I wonder if Malcolm gonna find out before he die. I wonder if Malcolm ever gonna find out. Wow, and Santiago, he ain't got no clue. I don't think he even know. This episode, listen, this season finale about to get real. All hell about to break loose on that finale. This is what, I'm telling you, this whole season has been amazing. If they don't get a season 2, I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to be pissed if they don't get a season 2. Because this episode right here was something crazy. This was bananas. I didn't see that shit coming. I was like, wow, Mrs. P and Santiago? My Lord. But anyway, hit the comment section and let me know what y'all thought about this episode. I will see y'all all later. I hope y'all have a great night. Peace.